first one for one for the audience, one for the
Yeah, I'll run over so I can repeat what's online here. Oh, yeah, that's a killer camera. My apologies. They lost you on the screen. I was still on it. All right. Hi, Mom. Okay. We have a question from Jay Hayseed. Why hasn't Mr. Quigley answered the Campaign for Liberty candidate survey? Do you intend to? And if so, when? I would like to see your answers.
I would be happy to do so. If you can send them to me, I'll get on that right away. The Campaign for Liberty sent me a questionnaire. I had thought I had answered it, and I sent it in. We don't know what happened. I'm asking my representative for Campaign for Liberty, Jared Hendricks, over in the Hampton area, why that happened and whether or not he can track that down. My response to you also would be for Campaign for Liberty. Why hasn't Campaign for Liberty's leadership also supported third-party candidates for running, and why do they insist that people should run as Republican?
Did you mail it U.S. Postal Service? That could have been your problem.
I'll help you fill it out, James. All right. Anything more to add, Mr. Kelly? All right. Is there a question from the audience? In the center. Come on up.
Do you know who Mark Emery is?
No, sorry.
E-M-E-R-Y. M-A-R-C. E-M-E-R-Y. Mark Emery owned a company in British Columbia. He's Canadian. He sold marijuana seeds all over the world for 12 years. He made millions of dollars. He contributed a lot of money to marijuana legalization and medical marijuana in 5 or 6 countries. In 2005, he was indicted on drug charges in Washington State. A year or two later, the Canadian government confiscated everything and threw him in jail and held him for extradition, which he fought until early part of this year. He was finally extradited, cut a deal, because how many drug charges can you have per seed or whatever? You know, I mean, it could have been astronomical. He cut a deal to let other people that were indicted go, and he would serve his time and serve 5 years in penitentiary in Washington State. And so he was formally sentenced to 5 years on September 10th. And there were free Mark Emery rallies in all over the world on September 10th to try to get Mark Emery out of jail.
Was that I apologize, was that a question though? Or?
I asked you, do you know who Mark
I
Emery
got you.
is?
I know.
Okay,
Sorry.
that was my
I'm sorry.
I would say he's a patriot for sticking up for himself and not putting other people in jail, and he took the fall for something he did. Right, so I would say he's a patriot, or rather than say he's a pinhead or a patriot, you decide. Okay, but I think that if you did something wrong in a foreign country and you violated their laws, and you stand up and say, okay, I did it, and you serve the time, then that's what should happen.
Back to the internet here. Hate Losing is asking, what are you going to do about all of the unconstitutional executive orders that already exist?
I think really the legislature, I would be a big proponent of just saying that, you know what, they don't matter. They're null and void. The executive orders should never have been abused. If you look at the Constitution, it has, which I have an iPhone app for, but you know, it's pretty clear that the legislature is supposed to handle that. So, I mean, I'm just saying that it's not the business of the president to form laws. The president is there to execute laws. And really, the Congress is where it should be happening, where all the big decisions and legislation should occur.
10th Amendment, states' rights. Okay, Cuccinelli great. You know, we're not going to do healthcare. I believe in that, and the state should take care of that. I would take care of all those executive orders right away as soon as I got in term in the White House. And I hope that you vote for me in 2012. That's the only way it's going to happen to get it rescinded, is get your guy into the executive office to rescind those. And I agree with James on that we have the right, as in the Bill of Rights, the 10th Amendment, that says we can ignore that. And that's what we should do.
All right, Madam?
How do you answer the charge that you are splitting the vote? Since we are
You go first, because I like to be
supposedly, now,
last.
research
Go ahead.
Research states that we're a two-party system. This is what I've heard. But you guys are splitting the vote. What do you say?
Yeah, so the question is, how do we, James and I, feel about splitting the vote in this district? Because we're going to take it away from one of the candidates who doesn't live in this district. And he's going to lose because we're getting his votes. They're not his votes. They're the people's votes. And when people come up and ask me that, and they say, you're going to split the vote, I say, well, then vote for me. You don't have to vote for that guy. And did you know that he doesn't live in this district? And did you know that I was second on the ballot, and the incumbent was first, and that James was third, and then 2 months after James and I got on the ballot, they put a Republican up. And how did he get in? Well, he went to the convention in Sampson, 100 people showed up and voted, yeah, we'll take him in the second district. We'll put him right here in the third, and we're gonna win with him. I live in New Kent, and it's a very conservative county, and a lot of people come over there. Well, I would say it was 13 people that showed up for the mass Republican meeting that they had, where they had Steve Thomas and Chuck Smith come up there and say, we want your votes to come in. Well, what happened to Steve Thomas? Does anyone know?
Railroaded out.
No. Yes. He was promised, from what I understand, from one of the vice chairs over in the Republican Party in New Kent, told me personally that he is going to get a legislator job in 2011. Can we say buying out votes? You know, that's I'm putting it out there, and I want them to come and tell me that I'm wrong. And Mike Wade, who's the Republican chair out there, I was at the meeting. I was at this meeting. And he stamped up and down the front aisle. You know, Mike, that's what he does. And he says, I know that Libertarian out there in Hampton, and I'm going to bury him. That's your party's talking to you. He also said that the Tea Parties need to get in line with the Republican Party because we represent them. That's a quote. I was there. I heard it. And that's what turned me off from the Republican Party. Well, I've been turned off for a while.
Well, they're the same political party, so I don't know how I'm going to split the vote. But, you know, and again, it pox on both their houses.
Yeah.
But
Amen.
the issue is, when I hear you're going to split the vote, just to jump along with what John said here, but we're here first. What do you mean you're going to split the vote? In fact, not only did we both even asked the question, is there anybody running? Because that's a part of the equation, right? Is there anybody running? What's the field of battle look like before you enter the field of battle? And we were told repeatedly, both of us, no. So we said, hey, let's jump on in and give somebody a choice in the 3rd district. And for them, oh yeah, and one of them offered me a steak dinner if I joined the Republicans. But, you know, and it never comes directly. When they ask you to go ahead and do this, they never go, Mike Wade doesn't go and walk over, or anybody doesn't walk over and go, hey, we want you to do this. They always go to 3 or 4 different people, so it's like, you know, just pass the message. So it was like, hey, we'll offer this to James Quigley if he gets out, we'll offer this. It came back and, you know, to me, it goes, James Quigley, will you drop out, we'll offer you this. And I said, no, tell Mike to go to hell. You know, one of the other person, Mike, James says go to hell. Mike, James says go to hell. Mike, James says go to hell. So, you know, just kind of pass the message along, because it's illegal for them to actually ask you directly. So, so anyway, I just wanted to pass that along, and really, again, to me, I'm not splitting a vote with them, they're splitting a vote with me. I was here, John was here, we've been working hard on this thing. What they're really afraid of is the loss of power.
Yeah.
Because what they're afraid of is maybe they'll like libertarians, or maybe they'll like another party. And maybe if people like those parties, maybe they won't come back. So let's throw somebody out there, and let's go ahead and throw somebody out there, and let's accuse them of being the spoiler. So they did the same thing with Floyd Bain. The Democrats did the same thing with him when he went against Canada. They threw somebody out there because maybe people might leave the Democratic Party and might not come back. So they share power in that way. So again, I'm not splitting a vote with them. They're the same political party. I'm offering a choice, so is John.
All right, we're going to take one last question from the internet here and then give the candidates a 30-minute break so that they can get some water in, hit the head.
I'm with you, brother.
So, from the internet, Hate Losing once again asks, how do you feel about S.510, the Food Safety Modernization Act? Is it now illegal, or it is now illegal to sell unpasteurized milk, etc. in California, and adds that our naturally grown food sources will be under attack?
And he is absolutely right. So first of all, I want everybody to do a little homework assignment after this. I want you to go home, and I want you to take a piece of paper, and I want you to write down all the things that you can do without the government getting in your business. Okay?
Everything.
It used to be walking and breathing, and maybe actually drinking milk that you choose, and now I guess the milk's gone, so I guess you're back to walking and breathing. But I mean, this is a huge problem because this leads to other things also. If there's only a few people who are able to produce the sources of our food, it's very easy if let's say, this would never happen of course, but let's say we ran massive debt and our economy would collapse while we also increased our surveillance and military-industrial complex state. But let's say that all happened at once. You know, and if there's only a few sources that you can go through for food because they drove everybody else out, well, guess what? You're going to toe the line. You'll be a good revolutionary and speak nicely now about, heck with the system. But when you got to feed yourself, I'm sure we'll all be towing the line, and meanwhile whispering to each other, the system sucks. So again, we need to get more freedom in this country, not less.
We need to get government out of our pockets, out of our life. We need them to stay away from saying, oh, I can't eat a hamburger at McDonald's because that'll make you fat. Well, guess what? I'm already there. Don't worry about me. I'm 51 years old. I can take care of myself. I've lived 7 years more than my dad did, so I'm good to go. And I'll be here for another 51 because we eat healthy. I eat at McDonald's now. I have activity every morning. I like Jamie Lee Curtis and whatever she sells. No, really, seriously now. I'm not Rodney Dangerfield, I'm sorry. When I was in South Dakota on the missile field, and I saw these farmers out there, and I had these kids running up and down with their motorbikes, and there was only one or two of them. And I asked them, how's the farm going? This is 1980. How's the farm going? We can't grow our own crops. We can't grow crops for ourselves to feed our family. We have to grow what the government wants us to grow. And that's wrong. That's totally wrong. They need to be able to grow whatever they want and not get those subsidies and incentives to grow what the government wants. What are we doing with it? It's just sitting out there doing nothing and rotting. So we need to get the government out of agriculture, back into the business of commerce, back in the business of building roads, national defense, back what they're supposed to be doing, and out of education, out of all the things that they decided that somewhere in here it says, the Commerce Clause, I get to do anything I want. Well, no, you don't. The states decide that, and we need, as a state, we need to pull that back from them. 2011, I need to say it again, we need to get our people in there to change this.
All right, we're going to take 30 here.
Actually, I'm sorry. Let's go old mingle, stretch, everything else. Take 5, if it's okay. Bill Redpath is here from the Congressional 10th District of Virginia. He came all this way from the northern part of Virginia. He's really close to D.C., so I'm sure he's got a lot of stories. Is that correct, Mr. Redpath? Where are you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. And so So in a few minutes, he's going to come up and talk. I want people to be able to stretch first. After that, we have Stuart Bain. He's actually running in the 6th Congressional District. This is the first time that all 3 Libertarian candidates for Congress in Virginia in 2010 have been together. So they just like to give a few words in a little bit. Thank you.